Hello, this is Liberty Mark 222. I've been studying a lot on the internet, and I've been noticing some very disturbing trends as far as what how the different dots meet together, and these Nazi things keep popping up in our government, and very high officials have ties to Nazi Germany, and which seems really strange because this country is very anti-Nazi. I mean, the mention of Hitler is like, the worst possible person you could be. Nazis are like the worst example of humanity. The Holocaust, the killing of 6 million Jews. So, how is it that I'm seeing and hearing very influential people with ties to Nazi Germany back in the 40s? The first one being President Bush, with Prescott Bush. It's documents just came out, secret documents that have been hidden for 40 years, that Prescott Bush had helped finance the Nazis in Germany. And so you got a big fund called PIMCO, which was originally funded and it's a huge fund right now, $1 billion fund, largest in the United States, in the world, I think. Originally started by Nazi financiers. You have, I was watching this rocket, the show on the moon. You had Werner von Braun. He's the head of the Nazi space program, the one that developed the V1 and the V2 bombs. And he became the head of our NASA, head of Apollo project. We got the scientists that came from Germany that knew the nuclear program. You had these doctors that had done experiments on Holocaust victims. They had come over to the United States. You have what else? There's a lot of different examples. I keep seeing them and hearing them, and I'm thinking, and you look at what our government is doing right now, and how, like Alex Jones was saying, how the Germans, they fluorinated the water. It was like some kind of sedative, and it's a mind control thing. And then we're putting fluorine in the water, fluoride or whatever. We got people doing weather control, spraying the atmosphere with aerosols. We got the way that TSA is working. They even have like the SS. Oh, there's Patricia. She's kissing to me. And you got the SS. They're wearing the dark uniforms. You look at the TSA, the police now. They're all dressed in black. What a lot of the Nazi, they had a lot of occultic stuff involved in their government. Is a religion. It was the Aryan race. It was they had this the pure blood, and that's why they were getting rid of the Jews and the gypsies and the homosexuals and the crippled, deformed people. And now we got all this eugenicist people talking about reducing the population from 6 billion people to 500 million. these people are all into alien worship. They're into communicating with aliens, and there's there's so many similarities. The way that the Germans were so technologically advanced for their day, they were way more advanced than the rest of the world. Look at the United States. We're way more technologically advanced, and we're using our military to basically be the police state of the whole world. And we got, we in some ways we're more like the Soviets because we're poking into everybody's business. The way that we got electronic spying, we got cameras at every intersection now, face recognition software. You got drones flying overhead us that, if they wanted to kill you, they could kill you that way. They have the way the police state is set up. Every financial transaction you have, your cell phone, they're tracking you everywhere. They have just reams of files on every United States citizen and all over the world, tracking every cell phone call, every email. They got data miners that they're programmed to pick up certain catchwords, and if it picks up these words, then there's going to have somebody listening then on your conversations. It goes, I don't know, I guess to Washington somewhere. And I remember there's a passage in Revelation. It talks about how the beast was wounded and it looked like he was dead. And I heard people talking about how they said that it was going to be like the Nazis. And I was like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. But if you look, even the history of the Nazi Party in the United States, we got the neo-Nazis now growing like crazy. If you're involved in any kind of law enforcement or a prison system, you know that I'd say at least 10% of the white population is neo-Nazi. You look and see you got tattoos all over them, the SS, and they're not ashamed to call themselves Nazis, neo-Nazis. They're skinheads. It's very prevalent. So, what am I trying to say? I guess I'm thinking and talking at the same time. I'm just thinking about all these things. I'm like going, what does this mean? I was watching the history of the rise of Hitler and all the crazy things he did with the stormtroopers, the false flags, how they burned down the Reichstag, and they knew how to do false flags. We do false flags all the time with the Oklahoma City, the World Trade Center, all these bombings. If a president gets in trouble, he just declares war, attacks somebody. It's the tactics don't seem to ever change. I mean, it goes all the way back to the Romans. I mean, it goes all the way back, and in the Bible it talks about these people. False flags, it's been going on since the beginning of history. Somebody does something and blames another person, and that person gets, thrown to the dogs. So what's my point? My point is that in order to fight against an enemy, you have to know who that enemy is. And I feel like a lot of times we get a feeling of angst. We don't know. We feel like something's wrong. I mean, okay, a lot of Americans don't. They're just drugged up. They're dumbed down. They're not in the program. But let's say 10 or 20% of Americans are feeling like something's wrong. That's why you got all the Tea Party people rising up and saying, what's wrong with our government? Why, we're in so much debt. We got this illegal private corporation called the Federal Reserve printing up well, I mean, basically they're counterfeiting all this money. Now they're buying up all the debt in all the world. They're going to buy up all the mortgages of people. And so we already pay all of our taxes to the Federal Reserve. But now they want us to pay our mortgage to the Federal Reserve. They're not going to be content till they own everything in the whole world. And I guess so. I mean, it's all the system of the Antichrist. Just like the Bible says that, no man's going to be able to buy or sell without getting a mark of the beast. And and then in the Bible it says if we get this mark, that God's wrath's going to be on us. And that's the one thing he says: if you get this mark on your hand or your head, you're not going to go to heaven. You might as well, that's one of the absolutes. But we're getting pushed to this system where we can't even use cash anymore. It's like if you don't have a credit card or a debit card, you really can't function very well in this society. And I mean, it wasn't too long ago, I remember as a kid, that hardly anybody had a credit card. If you had a credit card, that was like you were really rich, and everybody paid by checks or cash. Now nobody even has checks anymore. You don't even need checks hardly. It's just it's like you don't even use the mail anymore. People just send their bills in by the internet, and we get paid. You get downloaded. Your paycheck goes directly to the bank, so you don't even see your paycheck. So if you have a problem with your paycheck, you can't hardly fight against it because it's like, you cashed your paycheck already, and too bad. And okay, so going back to this enemy thing. So who is our enemy? Who are these faceless bureaucrats? These megalomaniac, mega rich bankers they're trying to control every aspect of our life. They want to poke and prod, and know everything about us, know everybody that's in opposition to them, that they can just smash them down. Anybody that even is thinking at all, they want to ship them away to these concentration camps they got set up in all over the United States, these FEMA camps, that they're going to, break down your door at 3 a.m. and take you there. And if you're on the red list, then they're going to shoot you right then. If you're on the yellow list, I guess they're going to take you and torture you and try and convince you to be a good slave. So I see all these things, and it's extremely troubling, extremely worrisome. And to even talk about is so troubling. It's like, wow, this is just the end of the age. And I don't care so much about myself, I suppose. I just, in a sense, I see this great country, America, just founded on such awesome ideas, freedom, and just became such a rich, powerful country, Christian country, and now it's just being just eviscerated, gutted out, and the people don't even know it. They've been putting this fluoride in our water, and people are just dumbed down, drunken, watching TV shows that are just utterly mindless. Just so, if we didn't have the internet, there would be no news whatsoever. You wouldn't even know what in the world's going on. And so, I mean, you can't get anything from the nightly news, talk radio. Most of the talk radio is just pure garbage. It's like, I can't even hardly stand listening to talk radio anymore. It's all advertisement. I mean, there's no liberal talk show because it's like, nobody wants to listen to that anyway. And the conservative talk shows, it's all advertisements, and it's a bunch of corporate hacks. They're just defending. I can't stand listening to them saying, oh, well, the poor people don't pay any taxes. The rich, they're paying all the taxes. Yeah, right. Okay. That is, I can't believe that they could even say garbage like that, you know. And then Mitt Romney publishes his tax forms, and supposedly he's paid 14%. But all the off-budget items, all his investments in the Cayman Islands, well, we just kind of hid those, you know. And well, we got Americans. The average American, you're paying so many taxes you can't even keep track of them. You got you got your Social Security tax, your federal tax, your state tax. You got your tax on your lights and your telephone. You got your gas tax. You got your all your levies. You got your license on your car. You got your you got to have insurance that's mandated. You got tax on your house, on your property. I could just go through a huge list. There's probably I've seen lists like 50 to 100 different things we're paying taxes on, and we're already paying a lot of taxes on our food and everything gets stacked up, you know. So, I lived in a third world country before, and you can live on $200 a month because they're not taxing you on all this stuff. You know, it's not things aren't so expensive. You know, the property isn't so expensive. Now, certain things like cars were very expensive, gas was very expensive, but like the average living, if you just were living, you could make do, you know. But here in the United States, you can't do that. You can't even live in this country unless you're making a fairly good salary. And all the salaries are just getting pushed down. All the jobs are just gone. There's no factories. The only jobs there are is working for the government. If you wanted to work as a policeman or maybe a fireman or working in the medical profession, and even that, the medical profession is really getting difficult now too. It used to be if you're a nurse, you could work wherever. Now there's lots of nurses, it's making it really difficult. But you can get a job as a waiter, as a cleaning person, as a every job is like minimum wage. So, and everybody's just getting smashed, getting pushed down. So, they want us to revolt. They want us to fight against the system, I guess, because they want to have an excuse to put everybody in prison and start torturing people to death. These people are so sadistic. They make the Marquis de Sade look like just a nice, I don't know, just a nice Sunday school teacher somewhere. I don't know. But what's all my ranting about? I guess I'm just thinking out loud. I'm thinking about what the future is going to be and how we're going to fight against this whole system. And if we should fight, I think we really should fight. You know, we have a fight of faith. Our faith, if we just go along with the system, if we get a mark of the beast, we're at war with God. So it's in a sense, God is saying, either you're going to fight this or you have no part of me. So we have to fight it. We're going to end up sacrificing our life one way or the other. So I'd rather sacrifice it fighting before it's too late. And I know there's a lot of people that aren't awake, but there are some people are awake, some people that are listening. So I know this video's gotten really long. I don't usually do them this long, but I just want to thank you for listening. This is Liberty Mark 222.